everybody, my name is Kara Kirkpatrick and this is my special education field experience. So our teachers were not able to disclose what each of the students' disabilities were, but they do have learning disabilities and they do have developmental delays. The first field experience that I partook in was reading a book to one of our students who is wheelchair bound and non-verbal. Her name is Naomi, and I read a Pete the Cat book to her. At first, I was a little bit nervous on how I should read the book, as should I do onomatopoeia sounds, should I be exaggerating my words, and this is just because I don't have lots of experience with special education students, so I wanted to do everything right. And Miss Frank, which was when I got in there, it was a very positive environment and the advisors were super nice to me, and there was a variety of books I could pick from, but I went with Pete the Cat because Pete the Cat holds a special place in my heart. So I held the book and I was like, I am going to do all the sounds. I am going to read as if I was talking to a classroom full of children because I thought that was my safest bet. She does suffer from physical, cognitive, and adaptive disabilities. So I knew I wouldn't get verbal responses or any kind of response like that, but I think she thoroughly enjoyed it. My second field experience work was with Cadence. This is Cadence right here, and we baked snickerdoodle cookies for her home economics class. This is me right here, and this is my classmate Karen. Right here, we are dumping flour into the bowl. And Cadence, she is more independent than others. She is free to, she doesn't need to be walked to class. She doesn't need to be advised as much as the other students at Crete. Cadence does suffer from, or she did have a developmental delay. And yes, a developmental delay is diagnosed in Nebraska between the ages 3 to 8 years old, but they still carry on to when they are in high school. Cadence was a senior this year and just graduated, and she is going to SEC Milford where she will continue Crave adult education. Cadence loves pink, she loves bows, and she loves physical contact. And while we were baking, I noticed that she wasn't really attentive. Like she would rather have played with my Octobuddy on the back of my phone, which is something that you can just stick to the wall to make your phone stick, or she wanted to fix my necklace I was wearing. And I had to remind her just a couple times, like, okay, maybe let's like scoop the cookie dough and we can roll it in the cinnamon and sugar, just to get her attention back on track, because the whole point was to get some experience, so I wanted to do that with Cadence. But overall, it was a really fun time. Then my third field experience was the Unified Track Meet, which was a collaborative effort between the education class. So these pictures right here are group pictures that we all took. So this is my friend Sarah E. We have Jalen, Karen again, and Brian's in the back. But our special education students are Angel, Elena, Wyatt, Michelle, and Jackson. But Jackson's not pictured in these, but he is here. Angel, he is a sophomore. Elena, she is a sophomore. She loves Rainbow Dash. She loves rainbows. She during the 4x1 race, she really enjoys mimicking the person who will start the race. So she'll like saying, "On your marks, get set, go." She is really fast. Then we have Wyatt. He's a junior. He's in my grade, and Michelle is too. So I've had the privilege of growing up with these two students and seeing how they have grown throughout their years. Michelle specifically, which I'll talk on more later. And then Jackson, who is a freshman, and he's really fun. I see him in the hallways and I try and be nice to him. All of these students are, yes, they have independence, but they do need to be most of them need to be walked into the school and then walked to class. But Jackson, he again, has more independence. So when he sees me in the hallway, he'll give me a wave, and I'll give him a wave, and I'll always ask him how he's doing. And he's really social, and he's fun to talk to. He enjoys Huskers. He loves boys basketball. He was the manager or the water boy for our basketball team this year. He's really fast. He's the anchor in the 4x1, and he is very speedy, I must say. A fourth special education field experience was having multiple lunches with some of our students here. I was unable to upload the picture of us at lunch. Some of our students need accommodations during lunches. Due to Naomi's limitations, she needs her food like pureed or a little softer, and she also needs someone to help feed her them. But Elena and Michelle, Wyatt, all the others, they are free to pick whatever they want at school, whether it's like our pizza, our soft taco, or chicken sandwich. They are free to have whatever they want. I was eating with Michelle. She loves blue, gold, bows, Hello Kitty. She dislikes boys except for her boyfriend, who she was very giddy when she was talking to me about him. But when I got to eat with Michelle, I had never had a conversation, like a one-on-one conversation with Michelle. I had always heard bits and pieces of conversations that people were having with her, or just, overheard her talking to someone else. So actually getting to have this conversations with her was eye-opening, because she just seems so much more mature than when I remember her in like elementary school or middle school. And it made me realize, I'm like, wow, we overlook these students so much. We just see them as a disability, but getting to know these students, it just honestly, it's heartbreaking just to see that kids are so quick to judge when they don't truly know these students. Relating it to the coursework this year, back in Module 11, we talked on developmental delays. Developmental delays are one or more significant delays in one or more areas in children 3 to 8 in Nebraska. These students are 15 to 17 years old, however, they still have these cognitive delays. Most of them are mild, however, in Naomi's case, they are a little bit more moderate, because she needs someone to push her around the school, help her eat. With the rest of the students, they just need maybe someone to walk them to class. But other than that, they are more independent. My personal reactions to all my field experience was it honestly made me really happy, because like working with them, they're always just so happy, and they never seem to get down on themselves in like baking. Like if a cookie didn't turn out well, it wasn't the end of the world. And in track, it wasn't about winning first. It was just all about having fun. And I loved seeing the smiles on the students' faces with the posters that were made for them. One of the challenges that we had to overcome during this was trying to keep the students' focus on track. When we arrived with the posters became the priority rather than completing the race. So we had to work with our advisors to get their attention back on track and like work with them, like, hey, after you run the race, we can take a picture with them, we can go back to your camp. It was really cool to see their camp. They get their own little tent, and they get their own cart of snacks, and they love their snacks, I must say. Overall, working with them has changed my perspective entirely, and when people start to, lean towards negativity towards those students, I always try and defend them, because we truly don't know what's happening, and they didn't choose this life for them, but they always make the most of it regardless of any situation. On a more real note, I didn't know going into this experience how it was going to be, because again, I've never had a real conversation with any of these students, but coming out of this experience, I am way more understanding. My knowledge has expanded greatly on the topic of special education. Thank you for letting me share my special education experience with you.